Good morning and welcome to Maryland Business Roundtable for Education's Way to Be at Home series. I'm Laurie Bell, the program coordinator at Cambridge South Dorchester High School, and you are tuned into College Tell with Mrs. Bell on our College Fast Friday. Today we are going to have some time to learn about the University of Maryland College Park, and I encourage you, if you have any questions, please put them in the chat and we will do our best to answer them for you while we are live. I have a special guest with me today. I have Kaitlyn Haller. She's an admissions counselor at the University of Maryland, and I'm so glad she's able to join us today. Good morning, Kaitlyn.
Good morning, Lori.
Thank you for being with us today.
Thank you.
So you are an admissions counselor at University of Maryland, College Park. Can you tell us a little bit about what you do as your job?
Yeah, so I'm an admissions counselor at University of Maryland, College Park. So I'm a proud Terp. I essentially recruit students from all over the country, and I also read the applications for University of Maryland. I also have several projects, including looking into students' residency status, as well as making conferences and things like that for student recruitment.
Very nice. How did you decide you wanted to be an admissions counselor? We were talking earlier that there's not really a major for admissions counseling.
Yeah, that's right. So there's not really, we always like to joke that there's not really a major for admissions counseling. But it's interesting because the field is comprised, it's really a lot of different backgrounds coming together. So for me, I'm actually an alumni of University of Maryland. I studied hearing and speech sciences in undergrad, which is the kind of the precursor for speech pathology.
Mm-hmm.
So I'm really passionate about communication, which is actually a lot of what this field is about. Also, we have a lot of different backgrounds coming from all over the place, from government and politics, psychology, education, you name it. It's kind of a really cool field to be a part of.
Very nice. It seems like there's such a wide variety of people to reach out to a wide variety of people.
Absolutely, yeah.
So you said you're a proud alum of University of Maryland College Park. What is special about University of Maryland? What makes it special and unique from other schools?
Yeah, so University of Maryland is great because we are actually the flagship university of the state of Maryland, which means we are the largest public institution in the state. What's also really cool about our campus is actually we are a public research institution. We're actually the only public research institution inside the DC Beltway. There's a lot of different research going on our campus. We also have a really big campus as well. So a lot of times if you're looking for that big school experience, you can find that at Maryland, which I really liked when I was looking for schools. We have about 1,200 acres on campus, including our own golf course. So it really is a huge place. And with that, you have a lot of different opportunities for students.
Speaking of different opportunities, what are some of the most popular majors?
Yeah, sure. So our top majors on campus are business, computer science, and engineering. Those are by far our most popular majors, but we also are very popular for government and politics, psychology, criminology and criminal justice, biological sciences. Because we are so close to DC, it's really a great place to be for all of those majors, since we have a lot of opportunities right down the street in the nation's capital, because we're only 10 miles away.
So you mentioned that you're outside or inside the DC Beltway. So where exactly in relationship to Baltimore are you located?
Mm-hmm. So we're located in College Park, Maryland, which is actually in Princeton. So Baltimore, Maryland is about a 45-minute drive away. Same with Annapolis, it's about a 40-minute drive. So it's nice because you can easily get to these places. So we have students who even intern at the Baltimore Ravens or BWI, things like that, which is really cool. And honestly, the proximity to really large cities is definitely a major draw for our students. Also, because we are so close to DC, we actually have our own metro stop. So we're not in the nation's capital, we're not inside DC, but we have our own metro station, and eventually we'll actually have the Purple Line, which will have many stops on our campus.
That's very interesting, and it makes it easier to get to and from DC as well for those internships you were talking about earlier.
Absolutely, yes. Mm-hmm.
So you said it's a very large campus. About how many students attend there?
So we have about 29,000 undergrads on our campus and about 10,000 grad students. So total about 40,000 students on our campus.
You know, that's bigger than a lot of towns that we live in the state of Maryland.
Yeah. So it is a really big place. There's a saying that we like to say that you can always make a big school feel small, but it's hard to make a small school feel big. So a lot of our students, we encourage as soon as you get on campus to find your kind of niche community and group on campus. One of the ways that we like to do that is with living and learning programs. So essentially, freshmen who are applying are automatically considered as long as they're applying to the early action deadline. And so a lot of the living and learning programs, you'll actually be living on the same floor as the people who are in your classes. What's nice about that also is if you have interests outside of your major, you can also choose that. So maybe you're interested in studying engineering, but you're really interested in the arts. And you can actually declare an arts living and learning community and then also continue in your major, which is really cool and a great way to find students with like-minded interests.
Right, and a big place that does help narrow down how you can meet people. And I've
Absolutely.
often said when you get to go to college, you get to find people excuse me, that are more like you.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
So that's a wonderful opportunity. You made the statement early action. You also have early decision, and can you tell the difference between them if you have both?
Sure. So we actually don't have early decision.
Okay.
I like to think of early action and early decision as two different things. So early action is kind of like dating in a way, but early decision is like marriage. So essentially, with early decision, it's kind of like signing a contract saying that you will be going to that school. You're committed to it right away. And that's great. Our school actually doesn't have that though. So early action at our school is our November 1st deadline for freshmen. It's nice because if you apply by that deadline, you're automatically considered for merit-based scholarships, living and learning programs, as well as just best consideration for admission in general.
Thank you for that information. We have our rising seniors this year, and November 1st is going to come up quick if they're interested in the University of Maryland, for sure. We mentioned also that you have quite a large population. Are you a diverse college? I would have to think that you are.
Yes. So our campus really does pride ourselves on diversity. And honestly, as an admissions counselor, that's something that we're always striving to achieve is more diversity on our campus. So just some information from you. We have students coming from 118 different countries all over the world. About 40% of our students also identify as students of color. We really do pride ourselves for that diversity. Just a few weeks ago, I believe, we were actually ranked #1 for LGBT students as well. So we have all different students from all walks of life, whether that be geographic representation, religious, ethnicity, political diversity, all sorts of diversity is what we really do value at Maryland.
That sounds like a very inviting place for everyone.
Absolutely, yes.
So now we have to get to the nitty-gritty. If a student was interested in applying to the University of Maryland, there's so much talk right now about SATs, ACTs, college essays, what's going to be required through the pandemic that we're going through. Can you give us some background? Are SATs going to be required?
Sure, yeah. So it's definitely a unique time for students. For our campus, SATs will be required in the fall. We are aware of the College Board statement that went out a few weeks ago about the SATs and how colleges should definitely take that into consideration. So for our office, we are definitely aware that some students may not have been able to take the SAT twice or maybe not have been able to get a better score and improve that. And we are definitely taking that into consideration with our admissions process. For the fall, though, we will still require SATs. For the College Board, you can still take the SATs online. So it's definitely, for our office, we will need to see that official score report from the College Board or the ACT if you're going the ACT route as well.
Very good. And do you require the college essay?
Yes, we do require the college essay. So it's actually cool because we have 5 different prompts with our application. So you can actually choose your own prompt. And one of the prompts is create your own. So there's so much freedom with what you can write about in your college essay. And that's really one of the ways that we get to know students best is through that essay. It really does show your personality, your interests, and really it's a great way to highlight yourself as a student.
I like that. I like that one of your prompts is choose your own.
Yes.
Groups, clubs, organizations for students to be a part of. We sort of mentioned that there were learning communities for that. What else might be available? I know you probably can't name them all.
Yeah, so we have over 800 different clubs and organizations on campus. There's so many different organizations, whether that be arts or whether that be sports. We actually have athletics on our campus, from intramural to club sports to, we also have Big Ten athletics on our campus. But with our 800 different clubs and student organizations, there's just so much for students to get involved in. We have the First Look Fair in the fall, which is the event where students can walk around, which is McKeldin Mall, which is our center of campus. And all of the clubs and organizations come out and line the sidewalk. So that's really when you can sign up for that first club meeting. We also have a couple wonky clubs even on our campus. So we do have something called the Lettuce Eating Club, which is where you'll actually sit once a semester. It happens. It's a group where they essentially race to eat a head of lettuce. And whoever eats the lettuce the fastest is considered the lettuce president of the club for the next semester. It's a really interesting time at Maryland. So if you're a lettuce enthusiast, maybe you'll join that. We also have a squirrel watching club as well. So there's a lot to get involved in.
It sounds like you can have a very nice time while still studying hard to get your degree.
Yes.
One more question. If you had to describe the average student, what that you accept, relative range of an SAT score, what were their grades like in high school? How would you describe that?
Sure, yeah. So at Maryland, we really like to see a lot of different students, as I mentioned, with our diversity. But really what we're looking for in students are students who are academically successful. We want you guys to be happy and successful while you're at Maryland. And one of the ways that we do that is looking into those academics. So most of our students coming in earn more A's than B's and seldom any C's in their high school transcripts. We also like to see students challenging themselves. So if you have AP classes available to you, we like to see students who are taking those courses and challenging themselves each year. Also, for the SAT scores, our middle 50% of test scores fall between a 1320 and a 1490 on the SATs and a 30 to a 33 on the ACTs. Now that is the middle 50%. So there's 25% that's below that, 25% is above. So if you didn't make that, that's totally fine. We have a holistic review process, which basically means that we're looking into everything with your application outside of those test scores and those transcripts. We really want to get to know you as an applicant. So we look into those short answer section in the application. We look into your essay, your recommendations as well. For our recommendations, we actually require one from a teacher and one from a counselor. And then you can submit more if you do desire. So if you have a coach or something, that's fine too. But we do require one from a teacher and one from a counselor. Yeah, that's our application process and our requirements. We also like to encourage students. We actually have a checklist online, so you can take a look at that checklist when you are submitting your application.
Very good. You have been a wealth of information today. I'm so appreciative.
Thank you so much.
Is there any advice you would have for a student right now? None of us really know what the next year holds, but our rising seniors are trying to plan for a year past that. What advice would you have for a rising senior or a student right now?
Yeah, so for rising seniors, I really would take advantage of this time. So even if we're at home, it's really great because all sorts of online opportunities are becoming available for students. So even at Maryland, we have a lot of different prospective student panels. Occasionally, we'll have virtual tours. We do have a virtual tour online, but on our calendar, actually, you can see all sorts of events that are happening all over the country, so that you can get to know what's happening with University of Maryland. Also, I would encourage you guys to reach out to your counselors. So all of our different counselors at Maryland have a different territory. For example, my territory is Western Maryland, Westchester, New York, and Pittsburgh, Pennsylvania. So you can actually take a look at the map and see who your territory manager is and reach out to them if you have any questions. This is also a great time to study for those SATs. So like I said, there's a lot of different online materials that we always encourage students to use as well. So hopefully you guys are taking advantage of that. This summer is also a great time to get started on your college essay. So, if you want to take a look at that, have your mentors, teachers, parents look at that as well. That's really what I would recommend for seniors right now.
That's really great advice. We're offering a college essay writing workshop on July 7th. So I hope they're listening to your advice and join us for that. Awesome. Is there anything else you would like to share with our students today? You have been so helpful.
Oh, thank you so much. I guess one thing I didn't mention was that we have a great mascot. We are the Diamondback Terrapin Turtle, and it's a really fun tradition at our school to rub Testudo's nose. So, when everything starts opening back, I hope that eventually you guys are able to come down to campus. I understand this is a unique time, and I really appreciate being here and talking with you all. So I hope that you, are able to come out eventually. And if you have any other questions in the meantime, feel free to reach out.
Can I put your contact information in our comments?
Yes, absolutely. Mm-hmm.
I will be happy to do that. Thank you so much for joining us today, because it's given us so much information to share with our students, and I know our students will really benefit from it.
No problem. Yeah, and so I know you said you're mentioning that you'll be able to put the contact in. Our website is just admissions.umd.edu if you have any questions.
Excellent. Thank you so much. I would like to thank everybody for joining us today on College Chat with Mrs. Bell at Maryland Business Roundtable for Education's Way to Be at Home series. I would like to invite you to tune in on Tuesday. We have Coach Coffee on Tuesday, learning to translate your skills on the court and on the field and how they can transfer into your work, into your career as you're older. We have a special guest, Mr. Rudy Ruiz. He's a partner with 4 Point Education and a former Stanford University wrestler. That is one you want to tune in for. And also, let me remind you to download our Way to Be app. It will keep track of everything for you, help you find new careers. It will challenge you to learn about the careers, see what you can do to get to those careers, and will help you keep track of things that you do in high school. Again, thank you, everybody. Thank you, Kaitlyn, and I hope you have a wonderful day.